Good evening, Los Angeles, and thank you again for tuning in. As I said on Friday, I'm going to change a little bit some of the way that we are able to communicate in the days and weeks and months ahead. You'll see me at the beginning and the end of each week, but during the week, I might not be here live and in person, but we're going to take you behind the scenes and see some of the great work that's being done by people throughout Los Angeles to help us deal with this moment. For 2 months, you've had me in your living rooms, in your homes, in your places of work if you're essential workers, at this critical hour to get those updates and data, information and new announcements that we all need to know. And I've tried to be a reassuring voice to let us know the hard truths, but also to give encouragement to all Angelenos about the exceptional work they have done to save lives. There's so much about this pandemic, about this disease that we're still learning every single day. But for 2 months, we were just responding, reacting. Now it's time for us to look at what we do to reopen and to rebuild. And while we'll have many steps forward and occasional steps backwards, I'm confident that the same power that has propelled us for these last 2 months is the same power that will propel us for the next few months as we take these brave new steps forward. There's some nights where there'll be big news, and I'll be back in the briefing room, and I'll let you know that information. But as I mentioned, we'll look at all sorts of things behind the scenes, like what happens when you process a test. Who actually does the magic that lets us know who is sick and who's not? Talk to healthcare workers and others, people who are procuring critical equipment to keep our people safe, and let you know about how businesses can come out of this to be more successful and to survive this moment as well. And we'll take things on the road so you don't have to just hear how your city is responding in my words, but see it for yourself and tell the stories of Angelenos. So I'll be on Facebook and through so many of the channels that are broadcasting whenever I can be, and we'll give you content every single day to make your life easier and to help you get through this. I know this time is very exciting for all of us because we took our first baby steps forward in 2 months over this weekend. So let me give you a quick report about how that went. First of all, we had some really great reports out there that folks were back in our parks. Our golfing went very smoothly. In our parks, many people wore masks. Most people were physically distancing, but everybody needs to wear a mask and everybody needs to physically distance. And I want to thank all the city employees who are out there, city workers who are making sure that we learn the lessons from this weekend. As you know, we've been unafraid to keep some trails closed like in Runyon Canyon. And if necessary, we'll make those calls moving forward, even if it means shutting everything down. So please, let's continue to earn this freedom that we have, that we've won, that we've fought for so much, by making sure that you wear masks when you're out there, even in the park, passing people by, on our trails, and making sure that you continue to physically distance. Give people some space to pass, do the same if you're passing people, and let's make sure beautiful weekends like this one are ones that we can continue to build on as well. And I'm grateful to every Angeleno who stayed home this weekend too. As I mentioned, you didn't have to go out the first weekend. Maybe it's during the week when it's a little less crowded. Maybe you called mom or drove by the house and from a safe distance waved to her. These things are so important to keep all of our people safe, especially our most vulnerable. And to the businesses that opened up this weekend, thank you too for ensuring that we could do safe curbside pickup, make sure that all those local businesses that we want to support, everybody who put an order in, or for businesses that are about to open, thanks for supporting LA businesses and LA jobs. And we'll learn lessons every single day. We'll always educate, we'll encourage where people aren't abiding, and then enforce if necessary. But it always takes a few days. But make sure that whether you're a business owner or customer, that you're listening to the guidance from the county, from the city of LA, or the city that you live in as well. People are asking a lot about what's changing, and so I wanted to just speak very briefly before I answer some questions that have come into us from the media and from you. And we're going to continue getting questions from the public each day that we hope to be able to answer every couple days. But one of the big things is May 15th, Mayor, that's the deadline. Everything's lifted then, right? Well, not exactly. As I said, we're not moving beyond COVID-19. We're learning how to live with it. And anything that we change with our order, and I know the county with its order, changes just that piece. Everything else still has to stay the same, whether that's staying at home when necessary, whether it's physical distancing or wearing our masks. These are the lifesavers that build us towards these steps forward. As I shared with you, one projection showed that if we lifted everything tomorrow and we didn't have to abide by anything in the orders, we would 95% of us get COVID-19 by August. I don't have to tell you what that would do to our hospitals and how many people would die. So remember that these steps forward on May 15th, I'm sure the county or others, like other cities have done, may make those open-ended orders, but we'll continue looking at those, changing them, allowing new places to open, new spaces to open, as long as our numbers stay stable. So if you leave your home to get groceries or you're going curbside to get something from a local business, if you're riding a bus to a vital destination, practice all the things that are in the order, that are mandated, whether it's a facial covering, whether it's making sure that you keep your distance. These are the things that will keep us moving forward. And also, stay vigilant. Is the moment we see this curve tick up again, we're going to have to take steps backwards. But if we can keep it stable like it is right now, we believe, combined with what we've learned, just as we did with farmers markets, just as we've experienced in the construction trades, we can continue keeping people with the livelihood and life-saving actions that they need. Today, just briefly, I won't go through a big data dive. Those are always available at coronavirus.lacity.org, and we update that packet every day for those data nerds out there. Check it out. Really good information, links to good articles, etc. But we had 591 new cases, which was just a 2% increase. Remember, these are new cases reported. And 32,258 cases now have been positively identified in the county. In the city of LA, that's 345 cases, bringing our total to 15,568, also a 2% increase. And today we learned of 39 new deaths, which is a 3% increase. And now we've lost 1,569. And always remember, Mondays are usually lower because of the weekend, and labs take some time to get those reports in. Good news is those numbers are stable. Bad news is people are still dying, and we saw a slight uptick in some hospital admissions as well. So let's make sure we keep doing everything we can to keep those numbers steady and coming down. Again, you know that anybody can get tested in Los Angeles County, so go to one of the 36 testing sites through our website at coronavirus.lacity.org/testing. We have the capacity to test nearly 21,000 people today, and to date through these centers, we've tested nearly 300,000 people. So you can go to that website or call us, 311 after business hours or during business hours, 213-978-1028. And, you know, the most honest thing I think we can all do right now is to acknowledge that we will continue to have a lot of those things that have made the last 2 months difficult continue. And I want to tell you that hard truth because it isn't going to be go-go days anytime soon. But these things that are small, I know, have a huge impact on us. Getting outside, enjoying the Southern California weather, ordering something from a local business that we cherish, and knowing that goes to hiring somebody back, these things are immeasurably beautiful for all of us to be able to do. And we hope every 2 or 3 weeks, together with the county and others, to announce more forward steps forward. If we get sloppy, though, if the numbers go the wrong direction, we won't hesitate to do what we did at the beginning, to save lives. But I'm confident in you. But please do step up. In that park, do what's necessary. By the curbside, do what's necessary. And make sure we all earn these steps moving forward. So we'll always give you the data you need. We'll give you some of the information that's useful. But let me go to some questions that have been asked of me by members of our press, who I really appreciate continuing to get all the information out there that we need, and by members of the public. First one was about the flower market. I don't know about you, but I certainly ordered flowers for my wife, for my daughter, and my mother also got flowers this weekend. And I know it was very busy that first day at the flower mart. So the question is, what are you doing to protect Angelinos at the flower market? Well, it's true that a lot of people went out there to get those flowers for their mothers on this weekend. And we had city inspectors as soon as we heard about things, and county inspectors out there to make sure we did what we needed to do to have security there and to make sure that pedestrian and vehicle ingress and egress, that folks could get there safely and do it with physical distancing, was adjusted. The beginning was a little bit chaotic. By the end of the weekend, they had staffed up and done the right thing. Like I said, each day we're going to learn those lessons, and we're going to enforce. We're going to make sure that people are abiding by those safety measures that are out there. So to mitigate crowding on Saturday and Sunday, the city sent out Bureau of Street Services inspectors. We had Department of Transportation traffic officers to help both with pedestrians and cars. And Street Services team spoke with more than 150 different businesses each day to maintain those clearances and adhere to the new safety protocols. 27 businesses got notices of violation. We want to work with every business, but please read ahead of time. It is your responsibility to adhere to those as well. Next question was, the hiking trails were packed this weekend. Do I think it's safe for them to be open? And is it safe for the beaches to reopen? Something I know that's on everybody's mind. Well, first of all, the county does believe that it is safe for the trails to be open. Our public health department recommended that and changed the order for all of us across LA County, and we made LA City's orders be in adherence to that. But it's not the county who gives us that safety. It is ourselves that give us that safety. That can't be given by government. That's given by our own actions. And as I said, many people wore masks and most people physical distance, but it needs to be all people wearing masks and all people physically distancing. So we tell folks you have to maintain 6 feet between people. You have to have a mask when you're coming into contact, even if it's just passing by somebody on a trail. And the best way to keep your distance is to avoid crowded areas. Think about other parts of parks that you haven't been in before. And if necessary, we will shut those down, the trails that get too busy. But so far, so good. It worked well. And as far as LA beaches, LA County beaches, LA City is one of the beach cities that, together with Santa Monica and Malibu and our South Bay cities, together with Long Beach, have been looking at that. Stay tuned. I do believe that County Public Health will be giving some orders on that. I do personally support that our beaches are open for active recreation. I don't think that we can afford to have people sitting, tanning, kind of in the dry areas, if you will, of sand, but the wet sand areas, if you need to get in there to swim, to surf, to get in there and make sure that folks can walk or jog. That is something I hope that we can earn again and get the support of the county in coming days. And I know that those cities along the beach are looking at that so that we can have a place to, again, spiritually recharge and a place that's great. Also for the city, I'm interested in moving towards where we can have, working with our neighborhood councils and neighborhood leaders, some of our streets closed so that people who are walking on those sidewalks now, especially in our densely populated areas, have safe places where cars won't be driving through. And so we're working with council members like Mike Bonin, council members around the San Fernando Valley, the central part, south part of our city, to find those neighborhoods that are ready. And we really want it to be from the neighborhood up, not just from City Hall down, and find great places and spaces so that if the beach is open, we can also have places for inland folks to walk safely. Not events, not gathering places, but places where we can make sure we get outside and enjoy LA. Next question was, are you sure it's time to begin allowing more places to reopen? It seems premature given there hasn't been a decrease in deaths. And you're right, it's been pretty stable, but that's good. We hit our peak and it's come down a little bit in terms of our deaths, and it's not going up. And deaths are usually a lagging indicator, 3 or 4 weeks behind other things. And so we see the percentage of people who are testing positive going down. We see our beds not being overwhelmed and more ventilators being available generally, more beds being available generally. We monitor all of these things. So it does seem like the right time for these baby steps to move forward, but we'll see. It's only successful if people adhere to the guidance given out there. And I know we have a question about what do I do? How do I find that out? So let me turn to that as well. What safety protocols are in place, the next question asked, at businesses that are offering curbside pickup? Let me tell you the easiest place to go read it yourself. It's at lamayor.org/COVID-19 orders. All the orders we've done since the beginning are there, including orders for retail. And you can find there the protocols for retail establishments. This is something that LA County put forward. It's literally a checklist for businesses. So you go through there and you have to post what you have done. And this is what the county public health inspectors are going out there. I know they hit more than 180 businesses this weekend, found dozens that hadn't done this. And they said it really wasn't because of people trying to skirt the rules. It just takes some time to educate. Some people can't do curbside transactions yet. And so we have to work with them to make sure people aren't going into their businesses. So that'll take a few days, but please go and check that out. These are posted again at lamayor.org/COVID-19 orders. And all of our information will continue to help people adhere to at coronavirus.lacity.org/saferLA. It tells you everything from what to do for your employees, for your customers, and also how to keep people safe. Next question was, the federal government gave the city of LA nearly $700 million for COVID-19 response. Where is that money going? Well, first of all, we see over $1 billion shortfall in the amount of money we expect to get in from our sales tax and from our hotel tax, et cetera. To be clear, this money can't just fill that hole. It is money that's only specifically for work and things that we have to do to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. So let me tell you where so far we haven't spent a single dollar of it. We've had to take our money and front fund this. But what we're hoping it will reimburse is the following: testing, masks and PPE, helping make sure that there's childcare for our healthcare professionals, providing meals to our seniors and people with disabilities, making sure that the people who are now fulfilling new roles as disaster service workers can get paid, and somewhat for economic relief for businesses. These are the categories so far that we're spending money out of, and we're looking very carefully and lobbying every single day Washington to make sure we can spend this on a lot of the expenses that we've had to take on. And we have hundreds of millions of dollars that we will spend in our response to COVID-19. But as I said, I will never let money stand in the way of doing what's right. We need to make sure we have that testing, make sure that our people are safe, whether it's a doctor that needs a mask, a firefighter who needs protective equipment, or whether it's a healthcare worker who needs to have childcare to make sure she can show up. These are all things that are critical for us to get through this, as well as assistance for businesses and individuals. So the other thing I'd say is, because it cannot be used to fill the fiscal hole, I am lobbying extremely hard. I spoke with Senator Dianne Feinstein today, and with a coalition of Republican, independent, and Democratic mayors, county leaders, and governors, we are telling Washington clearly, we need your help. Don't let your states and your cities and your counties die. Don't have us lay people off, furlough our public safety officials, make cuts to critical programs in the midst of a pandemic. Reward those heroes that are on the front lines, those healthcare workers, those teachers, those bus drivers, those firefighter paramedics who are literally saving lives and helping us continue with our lives. And that has to be a part of the next CARES package. So last question I have here is, I applied for an Angelino card. Why didn't I get one? Well, there's 4 reasons you might not have gotten one. One might be that you don't live in the city. We had hundreds of thousands of applications outside the city of LA. Second was your income level might have been too high, or you couldn't prove that your financial hardship was caused directly by COVID-19. That eliminated some people. Third, you might have had a duplicate application from the same address, somebody else who lives there, another member of your family. It's 1 per household. Or 4, the main reason is we don't have enough funds to fund everybody. So it was by a lottery system. And those who have gotten a positive response were able to come in, have an appointment. We're continuing those. So that will continue. And the more money we get in, the more money we will give out. So if you got a no, and it was simply because you didn't win that first lottery, we did a second one, we've expanded it. And as I get more money every single week, we're expanding that to more and more people. So hold tight. You may get that call, and we are reaching out to people who initially got no's to start saying, hey, we got another $1 million in today, another 500,000, another 5 million, and we're going to continue helping people out. So far, we've distributed over $6 million, a total of 6,156 cards. I want to thank Mary Hodge and everybody on my team who's worked so hard. In government, it usually takes months to stand up a program like this, but through the Mayor's Fund and through our Family Store Centers, Abigail Marquez and others who helped out, we were able to get that out quickly in trusted nonprofits that exist in our communities throughout Los Angeles. We've helped about 17,700 individuals through those cards, and we're raising money every single day. So don't forget, if you can, please go to mayorsfundla.org/Angelino and donate. That money, none of it goes towards overhead. 100% goes straight to families in need. Last question today is, I'm having trouble getting unemployment. How can I get help filing for unemployment? You know, there has never been, since the Great Depression, and even during the Great Depression, it didn't happen this quickly, such a number of people who have lost their jobs in such a short period of time. And we know that that's been very challenging for states across the country, including California, whose websites weren't set up for that many people, whose call centers weren't set up for that many people. And I know Governor Newsom is working very hard on making sure that capacity is there. But we in the city of Los Angeles can provide some help. We can't give you the unemployment insurance, but if you contact us through our Economic Workforce Development Department, we have folks who can help advocate for you to get that unemployment insurance. So if you go to EWDD, help.lacity.org. You can find out, or just call again our helpline, call 311 and ask to be connected with the Economic Workforce Development Department. And we can help you find out the best ways to get that application in. We have advocates who can advocate on your behalf, and we can do this in multiple languages. There's a lot of people I know who are having trouble, sometimes because English isn't their first language, but you deserve that money. It's a part of the COVID-19 relief at the state and federal level, and that is the best help you can get right now. So that's all the questions for today. As I said, thank you for tuning in each night for 2 months. As we transition to this new stuff, I'm going to get you the critical information, and on big days, I will make sure you have everything that you need. Thank you for wearing a mask. Thank you for physically distancing. Thank you for supporting our local businesses with the curbside pickup. Order something today from the restaurant, from the bookstore, and moving forward, I hope later in this week, from all our retail. And keep safe, keep staying healthy, and keep, whenever you can, staying at home. Strength and love, Los Angeles. And as always, I'm going to now transition to Spanish to say some words, and keep those questions coming. Appreciate you all. Be strong.